We are going to be talking about today a topic that is near and dear to my heart, and that is depression. And it's a heavy topic, but apparently people are out here now cosplaying depression. We're going to talk about it today, you guys. Hi guys, welcome to my channel if you are new, and welcome back if you've been around here a while. I'm Kendra, this is 𝐒𝐿𝐫𝐞𝐬𝐬 𝐓𝐡𝐞. This is my space where I share my weight loss journey with you. Hopefully I can help you out along the way if you're on a weight loss journey. I also do commentary on a variety of topics including health, wellness, fitness, weight loss, and anything you send to me. So send me some stuff. I'd love to discuss. Also, you'll learn about me along the way. So if that stuff sounds good to you, then make sure you are subscribed to my channel. I'd love to have you here. Okay guys, so I was minding my business on Beyonce's internet and I came across some foolishness that I did not appreciate. And basically it was a quote from our beloved Miss Heidi Powell. And I've done a couple of videos on her, so just go ahead and watch those and catch up if you don't know who she is. But basically, she was on an ABC reality show, 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐜𝐫𝐢𝐛𝐬𝐜, with her ex-husband, Chris Powell. She dated Dave Hollis before his untimely passing, and now she's, I don't know what the hell she's doing out here, but she pissed me off. That's what she did. But we're going to talk about it today, okay? So we're going to get straight into the IG post. Like, I'm not even going to, like, play any games getting into this stuff. So let's read her IG post. Depression is your body saying, I don't want to be this character anymore. I don't want to hold up this avatar that you've created in the world. It's too much for me. You should think of the word depressed as deep rest. Your body needs to be depressed. It needs deep rest from the character you've been trying to play. And it says from Jim Carrey. And I was like, what is Jim Carrey talking about? Like, what is he talking about? And then Heidi Powell, she goes on to, like, under here, make paragraphs and paragraphs of utter and total nonsense. We're going to talk about all that. But first, we're going to talk about this post or quote or whatever this is. So he's an actor. Of course, we know who Jim Carrey is. And so I actually found like a little clip of where he was doing some kind of interview and people were talking. This is where this quote or whatever came from. So I went and looked at it, and I'm going to play it here for you now, guys, because I was trying to like get context about what this meant before I went and passed judgment. I could be totally wrong about what I got out of it. I could be totally wrong about what I'm about to say about it. But before we go any further, I'm going to play that clip for you guys. How much I would have loved to include that clip, I cannot because there is a copyright claim and I cannot use it in my video. I will have the link below and you can watch it at your leisure, and I am so sorry, but let's get back into my take on things. Okay, so I had a hard time really understanding him, and he kind of starts off about like Jim Carrey does not exist. I don't really know what any of that meant. Just from what I gathered from it was basically he's put on a facade of who he is, and he was trying to be whatever other people wanted him to be, and in order to have any kind of rest, or what I gathered it as is like peace in his life, he had to be depressed. Like depression was his refuge to get rest or peace, because I guess maybe that was the only way that people were gonna like leave him alone, or maybe he could like go inside of himself and be who he really was. I don't know. That's just what I gather from it. But I know depression as something totally different. You know, and then he talks about the difference between depression and sadness. And of course, those things are two totally separate things. Sadness can lead to depression, but sadness and depression are two different things, because people can be sad and not ever be depressed, and people can have depression without not necessarily having sadness. So they're not like one and the same. But depression to me is like not that. Because I am who I am. I'm like my authentic self. I don't put on a facade for anyone. Like, of course, you know, I code switch. Like, of course, I act different at home than I do, you know, at work professionally and things like that. But depression has been a mental health issue for me. It has been something that I suffered from since I was a child. It has been something that I have battled as an adult. It has something that sometimes consumes my days and my nights and weeks at a time. It is something that is never going to go away. And right now I'm trying to treat it profusely with the aid of therapy and psychiatric medication. So I feel like his definition of depression is totally different from mine. And of course, I don't live in the same world as he does. I live in a normal world where sometimes I am not afforded the opportunity to take deep rest or to go inside of myself and the world to leave me alone. I have to be on point at all times. You know, I have to be a mother. I have to be an employee. I try to be a content creator and be the best for you guys. There are so many roles that I hold that honestly, I can't take a deep rest. I can't crawl into my hole in my space and have people leave me alone. But that's just what I gather from him. Like I said, I could be totally off base. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what you made of his video and your thoughts about that. I don't know. But I just feel like when people think of depression, they have their own thoughts and ideas about it. And I don't think that depression is something like you can just turn off and turn on. It's like not a flip of the switch. It's not like a mask you can just put on or take off or whatever. And that's been my experience with it. And I feel like anybody who has, you know, diagnosed major depressive disorder probably feels the same way. It's not something that is like, you know, some kind of character, like what I got from him describing. Now, we're going to dive into Miss Heidi Powell's whole entire monologue, whatever this is, of what she thought about that quote. Buckle up, hold on to your seats, because baby, it's going to be a wild ride. So let's get started, shall we? One of the most profound paradigm shifts my heart has been open to in a long time. She's basically talking about how depression equals deep rest. We all need deep rest. I agree with that. We do need to rest. Our body needs rest, literally. What if instead of judging ourselves for feeling depressed, we instead praise our souls for demanding the deep rest we need and deserve? Now, she puts feeling depressed, and then in parentheses, she puts not being depressed. So I guess basically she's trying to like mind F us into believe that depression is only a feeling and not part of your being. Like you can't be depressed. It's only a feeling. So I know I'm jumping ahead with what she's writing, but I just basically am gathering now she's gonna try to basically say like we can will our way out of depression, or we can miraculously cure ourselves from it, or it's part of like a state of mind. We're gonna keep going now. What could happen if we simply shift the way we view ourselves and our emotional and mental states? And what if we embrace that we are exactly how are we supposed to be, deep resting and all? I knew it was going to go there. View ourselves and our emotional states. I feel like a lot of times this is what people get out of being depressed and depression. They feel like it's something that we can so easily control. And we cannot, because if we could, then we would never be depressed. Like, seriously. Like, you just don't know how every single day I wake up and I'm trying to tell myself, today is going to be a good day. I'm going to feel good today. Like, I try to not even think about sadness. I try to not even have those thoughts. Like, I try to not even, like, I used to be like engaging in a lot of negative self-talk. Like, I don't even really engage in that stuff anymore. And even though I don't have all of those things going on with myself, I still feel depression. I am still a depressed person, and I've accepted it, yes, but I don't feel like I am supposed to be this way. Like, if I could be another way, I would prefer to be that way, you know? Like, I feel like my depression is a defect. I do, because it impairs me sometimes and it makes me not be able to function the way that I would in life. So no, I don't want to embrace depression. I don't want to. I am required to in order for me to function in my life. And no, me shifting my emotional and mental state, like sometimes I cannot do that. Like I literally can't shift it. I can't change it. Like I can't control every single thought or feeling that goes on within my mind or within my body. Like only if I could, only if I could. But we're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. Consider this your weekend invitation to listen to your body, your mind, your heart, and your soul without judgment, without guilt, without making yourself wrong, and love it for all that it is. This life we're living is hard enough. We don't need added pressure, hate, and judgment from ourselves. So I guess like if you're feeling sad or you're feeling depressed, like don't feel guilt for it. Don't judge yourself. Just love yourself with whatever you got going on. I guess that's what she's saying, which I can agree with that. I can get down on that. Like, don't beat yourself up about something that you can't control, even though earlier in her statement, she said shifting your emotional and mental mind state, which, whatever, girl. And indeed, life is hard, but, you know, sometimes it's hard for us to get over those conflicting mental thoughts, feeling bad about yourself because you suffer from certain things. And I don't think that that's ever going to go away for me because like it feels bad, and it feels bad when you have something that is out of your control that you literally have no control over. But of course, as time goes on, it gets much easier and easier to come to the realization that, yeah, I can't control this. And you know what? It is what it is. And as long as I'm seeking the appropriate care for it, then, it's just another like hump in the road that you just have to get over. Is it as easy as what I think she's making it out to be? Of course not. And it is something that has to be worked on and probably has to be worked on for the duration of your life. Be the best friend to yourself that you want someone else to be. Be the unconditionally loving friend to you that you are to everyone else. You're worth it. So am I. Sending you and me so much love this Saturday. Take care of yourself out there. In which I can appreciate that yes. And I've made this statement before on my channel that you need to learn to like treat yourself how you treat other people, because a lot of times we're very good friends to other people and we're not necessarily so good of a friend to ourselves. We a lot of times doubt ourselves. We engage in a lot of negative self-talk. We beat ourselves up. We judge ourselves harshly and critically. And sometimes you have to kind of give that way up. And I agree with that. No harm in that. But this whole message about depression equals depressed, I don't like it. And, adjusting your mental and emotional state, I don't like it. Just because I feel like this is something that is being preached over and over again, this narrative of mental health and depression and, other mental health issues, that they can just be willed away, that they can go away, that all you need is some deep rest and you'll be fine. Or, you can just use depression to escape your world and your problems, and a lot of us can't afford to do that. It just seems so unrealistic for a lot of people. And I think it gives us the wrong entire impression of what mental illness is and what depression is and how people deal with it and how people cope with it, how people live with it, and also how people treat it. Because whatever she said, it said nothing about therapy. It said nothing about working with your mental health professional. It said nothing about counseling. It said nothing about seeing a psychiatrist, nothing about taking meds. I mean, even woo-woo journaling, which is actually a method a lot of therapists recommend. I mean, I didn't even see anything about, creating goals for yourself, because usually they tell you to create some goals in therapy. Like, yeah, literally. It just makes me wonder, what are these like pseudo inspirational, motivational, self-help guru-ish type people, like, what are they teaching you? What are they teaching you? They're just taking quotes from other people and, saying a bunch of stuff and making it look pretty, It just makes me really think about that. It makes me think about what people are telling you, the messages that they're sending to you, how people are basically eating this up with a spoon and a fork. And it doesn't really make literally any sense to me. As someone right now who is going through a mental health issue, like right now, I'm in the middle of a major depressive disorder, literally seeing a therapist and a psychiatrist and taking meds at the moment. And I could just crack at any moment. And when I read this, I was like, it was in the evening, and those are really the hardest times for me. And I just wanted to like curse because I just feel like people think that, depression isn't anything serious, and, people are out here playing games with it. And I just don't like the way that it's being portrayed by people, especially by people who are making light of other people's circumstances. I just wanted to talk about that. I wanted to get that out of my head because it was driving me freaking insane, because I was like, I'm going to curse, okay? I'm going to curse because it is not something to be taken lightly. It is not something to play with. It's not a joke. It's not a game. Like, it's literally a matter of life and death for a lot of people. Especially when you're talking about depression equals depressed. Girl, please. Anyways, y'all, I hope y'all like this video. Make sure you give it a thumbs up. Also, leave a comment below. Do you know what the hell Jim Carrey talking about? What you think about Heidi Powell? Please let me know your comments below. Also, check and make sure you're subscribed to my channel. I'd love to have you here if you already not a subscriber. I appreciate you watching my video. Make sure you continue to spread kindness in a world full of hate. I will see you in the next time. Bye.